In 2010, a young woman named Amber Tuccaro set out on what should have been a simple trip. She never made it back. Amber was only 20 years old, a mother, a sister, a daughter, and a proud member of Canada's First Nations community. Her story begins in the warmth of summer and ends in silence. But what happened between those two moments? The hours, the choices, the people, has haunted Canada for over a decade. This is not just the story of one woman's disappearance. It's the story of a family's pain, a community's anger, and a justice system that still has no answers. Tonight, we go back to August 18, 2010, the night Amber Tuccaro vanished. Before she became a headline, Amber was just Amber. She grew up in Fort McMurray, Alberta, outgoing, bright, the kind of person who filled a room with laughter. She was known for her kindness and her love of adventure. A young mother to her infant son, Jacob, her friends remember her as protective, stubborn, and fiercely loyal. She dreamed of giving her son the kind of life she'd always wanted, full of opportunity, freedom, and safety. When she decided to take a short trip to Edmonton with her baby and a close friend, it didn't seem unusual. She was spontaneous, independent, and this was just another quick getaway. But that trip would be the last anyone would ever see her alive. Amber, her son, and her friend checked into a motel near the Edmonton International Airport. They planned to spend the night and head into the city the next day. That evening, something changed. Amber wanted to visit someone in Edmonton, but her friend didn't want to go. So, Amber decided to find a ride into the city. She left her son behind with her friend, promising she'd be back soon. That was the last time her friend saw her. Witnesses later said Amber was seen talking to a man on the side of the road, possibly asking for a ride. A car pulled up. She got in, and no one knew it then. But that single decision sealed her fate. For hours, Amber's phone went unanswered. Her friend assumed she was fine. Maybe she'd made it to the city and was staying overnight. But when the next morning came, and there was still no word, worry began to spread. Amber's family back in Fort McMurray felt something was wrong. Her mother, Vivian, began calling the police, but her calls were brushed off. The police told her maybe Amber was out partying. Maybe she just needed time away. It's a response Indigenous families have heard far too many times. But a mother always knows. Vivian knew something had gone terribly wrong. Days turned into weeks. Amber's loved ones put up posters, called shelters, hospitals, anything, anywhere. They begged police to take the case seriously. But according to reports, the file wasn't even classified as a missing person for several days. The delay cost precious time that might have saved her life, or at least preserved evidence. When we talk about missing Indigenous women in Canada, Amber's name stands as a symbol of something larger, a system that too often fails to act until it's too late. Amber wasn't the first, and she wouldn't be the last. Nearly 2 years after her disappearance, a shocking twist emerged. The RCMP released a recording, a phone call Amber made on the night she vanished. It's the last known moment of her life. In the audio, you can hear Amber arguing with a man in a car. She sounds anxious, confused. "Amber, you better not be taking me somewhere I don't want to go." Unknown man, "No, I'm not. You're going to the city." But his voice is calm, too calm. And in the background, you can hear the rumble of tires on a lonely country road. Experts say her tone changes midway, fear creeping in. The call cuts out, and from that moment, nothing. That voice, the man's voice, was never identified. The RCMP hoped releasing the recording would lead to answers. Instead, it deepened the mystery. In 2012, 2 years after Amber's disappearance, horseback riders discovered human remains in a field near Leduc County, just south of Edmonton. DNA confirmed the unthinkable. It was Amber. Her family finally had answers, but not closure. The discovery raised even more questions. Who killed her? Why was she taken there? And how could someone vanish so completely, right under the eyes of the world? Even in death, Amber was treated with indifference by the very institutions meant to protect her. The investigation was filled with missteps. Files were lost, witness statements mishandled, leads ignored. The RCMP later admitted to major errors. Amber's mother fought for years, demanding accountability. She wanted more than justice for her daughter. She wanted change, because Amber's case wasn't just a tragedy. It was a mirror reflecting how Canada treats missing Indigenous women. Amber Tuccaro's case became part of the national conversation about missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. Milk, her story, her voice, and that haunting recording are still used today to raise awareness and push for reform. She became a symbol, not just of loss, but of the fight for justice. It's been more than a decade since Amber's voice echoed down that dark road. A voice that pleaded for safety. A voice that was silenced too soon. Her killer still walks free. And somewhere, someone knows the truth. Maybe they've told someone. Maybe they never will. But Amber's story, her courage, her family's strength, continues to echo louder than ever. Because behind every headline is a human being. A daughter, a mother, a life that mattered. This is the story of Amber Tuccaro. And until justice is found, her voice will never fade. If this story moved you, share it. Keep Amber's name alive. And if you believe every voice deserves to be heard, subscribe for more stories that remind us, behind every mystery, there's a life worth remembering.